regularly scheduled program. Have a nice smile.
That looks horrendously scary.
Why? No, it's a nice smile.
Try that again. Oof.
Oh my God, ridiculous. All right, let's begin this.
It's the stuff of nightmares.
Okay, let's get the show on the road, shall we?
Every night, I dream the same dream. And then... the nightmare begins.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Quincy, and this is Jeremy with the Geek View, and we're here to talk about Wanda Vision Episode 2. Wanda Vision Season 2. That's what I felt like I was watching. No, we're here to talk about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. It's madness!
It's madness, I say. It's madness.
I enjoyed the movie, obviously, because I've watched it already the third time. It's the third time that I've actually watched it before we recorded this podcast. Either I like it a lot, or that's how long it took us to do this podcast. So essentially, there was a lot of Easter eggs. There were a lot of cameos, and there's a lot of things that we have to unpack. So right now, this is your spoiler warning, Jeremy. Spoilers ahead.
Yeah, you're gonna just spoil the entire thing.
Everything. But I have my feelings. But what did you think in terms of watching this movie?
You have your feelings. So let's talk about your feelings.
Yeah, my feelings. Obviously, you saw my.
How does this make you feel?
My feelings were all on the floor. You were there.
Yeah, you left your feelings out on the ground.
On the ground.
Was it the same like every time you watched it?
I mean, we didn't really do any videos for Wanda Vision, because Geek View, of course, came out after that. But I mean, Wanda Vision was a show that made me bawl my eyes out. Like the last episode, I couldn't stop crying. It was so sad. And I think for me, that's what made me so emotionally attached to this movie, and that's why it was so important, because I could feel, Wanda's pain, and I could I could just relate. Not relate in the sense that I have kids and I lost.
I was saying you can relate. You can relate to creating children with the powers of illusion,
the chaos magic,
with chaos magic, and then losing them because you have to wake up from your dream.
Yes.
Is that how you relate to?
That's my feelings right now.
And then you're also married to a supercomputer android.
With that house the Mind Stone. Right?
That house the Mind Stone, yeah.
Well, okay. So, I mean, I don't know exactly what it was, but I was very sad, watching WandaVision. And, the sadness actually carried over. I feel like if people had watched WandaVision before watching Multiverse of Madness, I feel like a lot of people would be the same. I mean, that's why I was sad every single moment that, the Scarlet Witch or Wanda was with her kids.
Okay, wait. Were you more sad for Wanda or more for Doctor Strange?
Oh, totally Wanda. I feel bad for her. I totally understood why, and this is a spoiler.
You felt more sad for Wanda than for Doctor Strange?
I mean, why should I be sad for Doctor Strange?
Well, think about it. Doctor Strange is a character that's pretty much had to give up his entire life.
So that's the contradiction, right? It's he gave up his life. He gave the mind. He gave up the time.
Well, okay, it's not even that. It's like he himself lost his life unwillingly, right, when he went to the accident, right, in the first film,
right,
and then he was forced to, in order to fix his hands, he had to go through his magical journey.
Yeah.
Become the Supreme One and all that. But the result of it was that he could no longer have a normal life because he was always going to be that Sorcerer Supreme personality, right? And that means he had to give up. And the fact is he himself had to live with the fact that he gave the Mind Stone or the Time Stone to Thanos in order to win, right? And that caused a lot of issues.
Yeah,
I mean, we're seeing. I mean, it's starting to slowly unveil itself as like the repercussions of the snap.
I don't like Doctor Strange. I never really liked, Stephen Strange like at all. So I can't really relate to him.
You always liked Wanda?
I've liked the Scarlet Witch when she was part of the Infinity Saga, because she was able to do so many things. And like we talked about a little bit before, like I do like the strong female character roles.
I like Wanda too as a character, but
yeah, she really
I guess I just don't. I think I sympathize more with Doctor Strange more than with Wanda.
I honestly don't. I'm not very convinced now that Christine and Doctor Strange were kind of like an item. I mean, they keep hinting at it, talking about it. They talk about it in What If. At this point, like his whole like being at the wedding and everything like that just didn't hit me.
Didn't do anything for you.
It didn't do anything for me. They didn't do anything for me. What is your perspective in terms? I mean, this is a Doctor Strange movie after all. So the main focus, of course, is Doctor Strange. For me, I was a little bit bummed because, Wanda ended up being the bad guy, but I think that was inevitable.
I think we all knew that was coming.
Yeah, that was definitely coming.
Like ever since Wanda Vision, I think that was something everyone was anticipating.
Right, for her to be the big bad of, and actually that's even more so why I wanted to watch the movie. I knew that like at least Elizabeth would play a big part in it.
This is my take on it. Even Wanda Maximoff is, the big bad, obvious villain.
Yeah.
I think Doctor Strange is the true villain in this entire series.
Okay, because of Sinister Strange, because of Demon Strange.
Because like he's a character that he suffers no consequences for his actions. Like, granted, like he does it for the greater good. I mean, yeah, there were a few moments where it was like kind of very, very selfish. But even then, like that kind of just leads to the point where it's like he does all these things without any repercussions.
Right.
And he himself doesn't really like, get punished for any of it, right? In the first Doctor Strange movie, right? It's supposed to be forbidden to use time magic, right?
Yeah.
The time stone. But he uses it at the very last minute to defeat Dormammu, right?
Yeah.
And that's supposed to be like taboo, like to use time magic. And it works, granted. It does save the day. But as Mortal said, that it's like he abuses the laws of magic for his own game, and there's no consequences.
Yeah. I mean, that seems to be his character arc throughout because
and that's such a far cry from, or that's such a 180 from like how I think I imagine Doctor Strange in the comics.
Right, that's true.
Right, because in the comics he's supposed to be, Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme, the being that protects reality from the unknown, or from the strange,
the bad guys,
alternate dimensions, stuff like that. Right. But as we see in this film, the greatest threat to reality is himself.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me as a character, I really see. So I like Doctor Strange as a comic book character. Like I felt he was super powerful. Always saw him use the Eye of Agamotto, and I was like, oh, this is cool. He was one of the stronger characters in the comic book universe. Here, I don't think of him as strong. I honestly, never in a million years did I ever think that Wanda Maximoff was stronger than Doctor Strange. I know that they, dabbled in sorcery and magic, but there were always like two parts of different things. I don't even know when the situation came up where Wanda was just all powerful. Because I just always
there was like that whole art. I know in the comics there's this
House of M.
The House of M, right, where she takes away all the mutant powers and stuff like that. Like that's pretty OP.
Yeah. That actually reminds me. I mean, this is kind of jumping around, but like when Black Bolt, right, was like, Black Bolt could take you out in a whisper, and it's like one whisper of his mouth, and she's like, what? That was my favorite part. Like I was like, oh, that's really like.
That was your favorite part.
Well, my favorite part in terms of like her using her magic, where she just said. Like she literally just said what mouth, and then his mouth was gone, and
then his brain exploded.
Yes, that did happen too. But why don't we just quickly go through the characters? I mean, I think we both know like who, like Team Wanda, you know, for you, Team Strange, and
Team
um,
Strange.
but let's
Yeah.
go through all the characters. So you know, I know that we haven't talked about this whether we're gonna cover variants or not, but you know, America Chavez, of course, is the first person that they do see, and then she is an interdimensional multiverse traveler, and then she's able to jump the multiverse, which of course has never been done before and it never existed. And supposedly she has no variants. That was
Yeah,
what
apparently she's the only one that can do that.
one of a kind. Yeah, so no variants. I forget where she was born in. I mean, she's born in a universe, I think, where there probably is no variants. I don't know if I forget the origin of her birth, but you know, I mean, she's the only one of her kind, right? They're being chased, and she just ends up in 616 universe, which is of course the MCU. That's her star power, right?
Yeah. That's so true.
And then she arrives right with of course, you know, Doctor Strange's variant, Defender Strange, right?
Yeah.
That end up over there. But you know, I do agree with you a little bit, Jeremy, that Doctor Strange in every single universe always will sacrifice whatever it takes to, you know, for the greater good, right? So, you know, while they were transporting over to 616 from you know, the center of the universe, Doctor Strange tried to take America Chavez's power, even if it was going to kill her.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty crazy. No, I thought it was crazy. I was like, oh shoot, like it's like he's willing to just kill this girl, you know what I mean? And then of course to save the universe, but you know, our Strange never did that.
Well, he thought about it, right?
Oh, did he? Was he gonna do it?
He thought about it, right? Like, I think it's near the end where Wong suggests to
take our
take
power.
the power.
Yeah. You should take our power. Take our power.
I wonder if like that's supposed to be his defining moment where his character becomes lawfully good, you know?
Yeah, it could have been. I mean, that could have been the pivotal moment, because even though he was dreamwalking in his corpse of Defender Strange, he made the decision, you know, not to take her power and actually just kind of empower her, right? With motivational.
This Doctor Strange, he broke so many rules apparently,
and never got punished.
And then it's like came away scot free. Maybe, I mean, with an extra eye, but still.
Right. Well, and so of course, you know, America Chavez ends up in our universe, and then, you know, we see Christine's wedding, and then Doctor Strange, and then of course I mean, you didn't know this, but monster that they were fighting was the one-eyed octopus thing.
Yeah.
He's also from the comic books, but I guess Marvel doesn't have the rights for that particular demon, so they just called him whatever.
I don't even know if they named him.
Yeah, they didn't name him, but in the comics,
well, do you think it's like the same character, it's like the same creature that we've seen like in like the What If series?
The one that Captain Carter fought against in the portal?
There's Captain Carter, there's also the Doctor Strange one.
Oh, right. Yeah, the episode 4 where he's like conjuring all these crazy ass monsters.
Yeah.
And just suck it. I see. The funny thing about that was, like, I thought that was kind of ridiculous, but they kind of made it a lot more normal in this movie, where, you know, like Doctor Strange was always like summoning things and then kind of mimicking the monsters he was kind of conjuring. Like that one with the dog. Dog. I thought that was weird.
Wait, the dog?
Yeah, the dog that actually bit the car, because there was a car coming. He conjured a dog. The dog bit the car. And then he went up. Yeah, okay. So that was kind of weird. And then of course the dragons or the snakes, he was setting those up. So, and then of course even the big hands, where he shot big hands from his hands, and then picked up the lamppost and then stabbed, you know, the monster in the eye. Like all that stuff was very weird for me.
Why was that weird?
It's
It's just all magic. It's all magic to me.
oh, magic, just magic.
I don't even think I thought about that, honestly.
Oh, I was thinking about that the whole time.
I think I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. It's magic, you know.
I was like, this
Powers.
is so random.
It's like pew 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 pew.
Pew, pew, pew. But so the cool thing was America Chavez. She does star kick the ceiling, falls on the stuff, and they destroy the demon.
Sure.
And
so wait, American Chavez's power, right? Is it just to like travel dimensions?
so I supposedly when she punches people, like strikes them.
It looked a little bit like she could also like use it to create force, right?
Yeah, right. Like she cracked that cell that she was in. She also hit the cement. So I think that's part of her power. I don't know if it's like she pulls like power from a dimension and she like turns it into a star and then like blasts it open. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like it. Like you're saying, looks like there's a huge amount of force that goes behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like it's more than just. So it's her powers is more than just to like
dimensional travel,
open portals.
And then, as they were talking about it, they're like, "Oh yeah, when we saw those monsters, they had these runes on them. Who do we know who knows about runes?" And then, of course, in comes Wanda Maximoff, right, in the field of apple trees. The scene where he came around, and then she kind of like, pretended that she wasn't behind it all, and she apparently slips her name and then says like, "Oh hey, yeah, America Chavez is gonna be safe with me." And all of a sudden you're like, what the heck? She was already corrupted by the Darkhold by that time, I guess.
You can kind of see it physically throughout the movie with on her fingers.
Oh yeah, it's so like I think that addition is very creepy for me. Just seeing black fingers, I don't know why. Wanda kind of reveals herself as being the big bad, and her acting, I think, was above and beyond. I mean, I know that I'm biased because I do like.
Just a tiny bit,
it's just a little bit apparent. Yeah. Well, I think that's what made me kind of feel so deeply. I mean, you were there, and I was just like, and you're probably thinking to yourself, like, why is this guy crying?
Yeah, I think you were the only one.
No, I think people are crying. Tell us in the comments below if you were crying during every single Wanda moment. How embarrassing! So it's like so funny because I was like, oh, it would have been better if I cried like watching with other people. I was like, of all people to watch it with, and then just be. You're
the one that was like, yeah, let's go watch the movie.
I was excited to watch it. I wanted to.
Even though you were already gonna watch it like the day after.
And then watch it. I know.
And then you watch it again. So it's like.
It's a good. I mean, it's so the hard thing is when I watched it the third time, I realized that it's not the greatest movie. But it's
a better movie than Spider-Man.
Yeah, definitely better than.
I think story-wise, this one was probably a really good one. Maybe not the greatest in terms of like overall plot, because it is kind of predictable in a lot of ways.
Sure, yeah, of course. I mean,
right? I feel like it's still runs into the same issues as previous like Marvel and Doctor Strange movies, where it's like the same cut dry formula that happens over and over. But the difference is at least it feels like they're trying to address the repercussions of every film before it. Right. Everything that happened before, right? Yeah.
Infinity War, right? And
especially the Infinity War saga, because I think that's something that gets overlooked a lot, is the fact that half the population did, get snapped in half, or get snapped, right? And then suddenly, like, they all come back, right, out of the blue, years later, right? It's like it's bound to like cause psychological issues.
Yeah, we see it throughout all the Disney Plus shows, right?
Yeah, the Disney Plus show. I think that's why I liked it, is because they kind of like talk about it.
Yeah.
Falcon and Winter Soldier, I think that was a little too heavy on the on the politics there.
Oh, on the politics.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to know who's the good guy and the bad guy in that whole scenario.
Well, yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like, I'm not quite sure if they're trying to portray everything as a bad guy or everything as a good guy, or if there is no good guy and everything is just neutral. right?
Yeah, I mean, when I think about all those people who became good guys eventually, like
I mean, this probably plays into like the post Avengers scene or era, right? Because all the films leading up to Infinity War and Endgame, right?
Yeah.
It's very clear like who's good, who's bad, and like who, what the overall
the story and plot would look like.
Yeah, what the end goal is going to be like, right? It's very clear throughout the entire for example, like for 10 years of film, it's very, very clear who's what and what's what, right? It's all about Thanos, it's all about the good guys versus the bad guys, Avengers versus, everything. Yeah. And then Endgame happens. And then now we're I feel like it's like in this little limbo where it's like everyone is kind of bad, but at the same time they're portrayed as a good guy.
Like Loki.
Yeah, like
Soldier. Wanda.
Yeah, like Wanda Vision is probably the greatest example. I mean, I think that is something that's really good about it is
White Vision. Everybody. White Vision looks bad.
No, White Vision's not even bad. He's not even good. He's just literally like white. There's nothing. There's nothing. He's neutral. Yeah, he is not. He's not good or bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he has no. What is that called? He has no sentient consciousness right now because it was all given to. Oh no! Actually, they did share memories. Yeah,
they did do right, and they had like that philosophical talk about the ship of Theseus and all that stuff.
Am I still the original? Am I? Anyway, but yeah, you're right. Like going into this phase, it's really kind of up in the air. I mean, we know about Kang the Conqueror. We know about some bad guys, but I feel like it was very up in the air.
Yeah, and so I think it dives more into like the character growth, especially for Doctor Strange, because I think that was something that's always been missing. Was just like, who is Doctor Strange as a person? What kind of good guy? What kind of superhero is he? Right? We don't really get a sense of what it was, even in like the Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all of that I think makes a lot of sense, and I think it leads us into like his character arc now and how like he's defending America Chavez, and even Scarlet Witch says like, hey, why are you defending this person who you only met like yesterday, right? And I think for her, or for Doctor Strange, of course, he's trying to prevent someone from stealing her powers and becoming this multiverse traveler, Wanda, and start wreaking havoc, right? They think the power is going to fall into the wrong hands. And so as they're going through and Wanda's pursuing them, I think Wanda pursuing America Chavez was like one of the best scenes. She just tore the sanctum up, destroyed everybody, got through the mirror dimension.
That was actually pretty intense. When they're in that alternate reality and they're trying to find the back door into the alternate reality.
Yeah.
And like, and she, they're closing all the doors behind them, and then Wanda's just like casually walking in, like ripping the doors off and all that stuff.
That was good. Yeah, she's just like, yeah. So of course they go into kind of like a futuristic type of New York setting, right? Because as they're being pursued, Doctor Strange, they go through all those different dimensions and then end up in kind of this future New York setting. And
the Illuminati New York.
Then we meet the Illuminati. The Illuminati. And so we do get to see the Illuminati, and of course the team is comprised of some of the original characters that are in the comic book. The people that are sitting there, I mean, I think aside from Captain Marvel, a lot of them are kind of OG people. We see Mr. Fantastic,
Reed Richard.
Yeah, no, his actor's name,
John Krasinski. We know it's Reed Richards.
But everybody wanted to cast someone like John.
Oh yeah. That was, the reason that he got casted is because of all that fan fiction stuff.
The fan creations and the photoshops and all that good stuff. And then we also get to see not Monica Rambeau. Is it Monica Rambeau?
I don't know, but I'm just calling her Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel, yeah. So we see the Captain Marvel, and then we see, like we were talking about Black Bolt before, and then we also did see, well, and Captain Carter was part of the Illuminati.
Captain Carter, Professor X, and Mordo.
But Professor X, of course, was the Patrick Stewart Professor X, which is, for a lot of geeky people, probably thought that was just the best thing in the world.
I don't know if it's geeky peaky. I think it's just something that. It's what the fuck, because I thought he retired.
Yeah, I know. I think he was kind of like everybody's just giving us like the runaround. You don't know.
I literally thought like him portraying Professor Xavier in Logan was like his goodbye letter. I
mean, dude, that would have been it was a great goodbye. That was like Patrick Stewart in that with Wolverine was the best thing ever. I mean, that story was good. The buy was good. Like, I'm glad he killed all the X-Men. Great.
You're glad he killed all the X-Men.
I mean, the way that he did, I thought that was like that kind of tragedy. Like, I could feel like, oh shoot, like he had no control over his powers. He just wiped them out.
That was a sad moment. Yeah.
So sad, right? So
much more sad than Wanda Vision.
I think it would have been good because the way that Wanda just tore through the Illuminati was unreal. Like I was talking about Black Bolt and her saying like he has no mouth, boom, no mouth, blew his brains out, right? Same thing with Reed Richard, turn him into spaghetti, you're gone.
Yeah, it's funny. Actually, after the movie released, I noticed that Black Bolt started trending again.
Oh, was he? Because his mouth?
No, because like they had that entire TV series Inhuman.
Oh, right, yeah. I wonder if people thought that Inhumans was a good movie. They used the same character, supposedly.
Yeah, it is the same character from Black Bolt, or it is the same actor of Black Bolt.
Yeah.
But did you know it was filmed in Hawaii?
I do know it was filmed in Hawaii.
I didn't know that because I watched a random scene on YouTube and then I realized, wait a second, that street looks so familiar.
That looks like downtown Honolulu.
It does look like Honolulu, and then those officers look very familiar.
Like HPD, like Honolulu.
their uniforms look very, very familiar, huh?
Yeah. So I mean, she makes quick work of the Illuminati, and then of course, like you said, like unfortunately, the swanton of Professor Xavier was short-lived because he tries to enter her mind, supposed to be the strongest telepath ever, and then she snaps his neck. So that was kind of a big bummer. But moving on to when she starts chasing Doctor Strange and Christine into they call it the center of the Virgin Divergent of all the universes, right? To get the Book of Ashanti.
Yeah.
And that was that was a big
letdown.
It was a big letdown because like the book just had no, like it was like that, and then the Darkhold getting destroyed right away. All those things kind of just was like. It's
like their way of cleaning a house because they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, I think so. It's like, oh hey, introduce this, boom. But even what I thought was kind of like a plot cop out was when they destroyed the Darkhold, and then they're like, oh wait, there's a Darkhold over in this mountain, Mount Windigore, and I was like, seriously, that was like a copy. That was a weird cop out. So Book of Ashanti and the Darkhold were kind of let down. Like seriously,
I was hoping like the Book of Ashanti, it was gonna be like a Kung Fu Panda moment where like the dragon scroll, and then when they open it, it's completely blank.
Blank. Yeah, that's right.
And it's like the power is within you. It's a mirror because the power is within you. Like I thought I thought that's what they were going to do.
Yeah, no, she just wiped it out, and then she took over America Chavez's mind, and then sent them to another dimension.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that was a little bit bummer, and then I think another scene that was a bummer was when Doctor Strange started fighting Doctor Strange with music. I didn't understand that.
Okay, I thought that was just cool.
Really? I think for a Wes Craven kind of like throw that in was actually. Cinematically was fine. I think it was just for the cinematography.
It was just for show, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it had so like irrelevancy to the whole situation where it's just throwing notes and this and that, and it was just ridiculous. It was weird.
Yeah, it was.
But
weird.
Hey,
I mean, I just attribute everything to like, oh, it's magic.
It's magic.
Yeah, because I think
Because
I think there's, I mean, of all the things that's happened within like the MCU, I think that's not the least strange thing to happen.
yeah. I mean, probably not, but it just seemed very relevant. Like I do imagine Wes Craven like making the, when she hit the keys, or when Doctor Strange hit the keys, it's like, okay, that was adding to kind of like that whole dark suspense thing. And I mean, it was fine. I mean, all these jump scares, like small things. I think he made it as horror as it could be with a PG-13 movie.
I don't know if it was with that. It was more like he made it as scary as he could without interfering with the story.
He did blow someone's brains out twice.
Yeah, that was great. I like
Good stuff.
Yeah, and then he cut Captain Carter in half. And then
that was pretty gruesome, gory. But I think her reaction was very Wes Craven, like, oh, I can't believe I'm actually there, like, so that was that. And then like, it's so funny how Wanda called Doctor Strange like a hypocrite when he was dreamwalking toward her.
Wait, that was funny. I actually thought that was really dramatic.
Really? I thought it was funny. She's like, "You hypocrite."
Yeah, she yelled. It was like, "Oh, you hypocrite!" I know. Whoa. It's like, yeah,
that was hilarious.
That was hilarious. I thought that was so dramatic.
Oh, really? Like dramatic, scary, or just dramatic, like
dramatic, like shocking, dramatically shocking.
Oh, dramatically shocking. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like you were thinking, oh my god, he's actually going, because like he had just spent like the entire last 30 minutes of the film convincing everyone he's a different Doctor Strange, and he wasn't going to get corrupted by the Darkhold, or he wasn't going to use the power of the Darkhold. And then next thing you know, it's like the opportunity arises, all right? And yeah, it seems like it's the only option left. He just like, yeah, let me just use the Darkhold really quick. Hold on a sec.
Right, with no consequences. Well, apparently there was consequences because you did get a third eye. But I mean, yeah. So him using the Darkhold saved the day, right? He somehow motivated him to get the demons. The demons went on his back. He flew over to
and then he mastered the elements of the dead apparently, and then used them to
necromancy.
Yeah.
The Shadows of the Dam. That's what it was called. Shadows of the Dam. But I mean, even Wanda just blew them away. I mean, essentially, Wanda could have taken anyone out.
Actually, no, she did. She really did. I mean, really, all of it was pointless because Doctor Strange and Wong combined couldn't stop her. All of the sorcerers couldn't stop her.
Yeah,
right? And then not even Wanda could stop her.
Yeah, the regular Wanda. That's true. Herself.
Not even herself could stop her. I mean, it really was just all left up to America Chavez. Showing Wanda
what she's doing to her kids and how bad of a person she was.
Yeah, how much of a monster she's become.
It was so sad. See, that's making me so sad. It's like the fact that she just kept saying like, "I'm not a monster." It's just hard to see a character that you like.
I mean, when she was saying all that to her children or her fake children, I just kept thinking like, yeah, the same thing literally could be said about Doctor Strange. Like he could literally be in the same situation and play it the same way.
Yeah, but
he's like,
I'm
not a monster. I'm not a monster. And then
things just got out of hand.
It's
so funny. When I was watching in the previews, it shows him say that. But the funny thing is that in the movie you don't see that scene. Mm-hmm. But Reed Richards does reference it in the movie. He does say, "Oh yeah, you had told us that things just got out of hand."
Things just got out of hand.
I didn't notice it until I heard him say that. I was like, "Oh, that's interesting."
Yeah.
So when you watch it again, you're gonna see that reference. But I was waiting for that bad Doctor Strange to say that line, and he never did, right? Because
they probably just cut it out and posted it.
Like cut.
Yeah.
And then so America Chavez does show, of course, Wanda, and then Wanda tries to destroy the Darkhold in all universes and all multiverses, which is kind of a weird thing. So that had taken place, and Mount Wendigore gets destroyed, and finally, we see Doctor Strange kind of back to everyday life, and then his third eye pops up, and that's the movie.
Yeah, what is that third eye?
So supposedly, from what I read, is that back in the days, old comic book Strange actually had like a third eye, and sometimes it was like the Eye of Agamotto, but it's supposedly his like strongest form, is his final form, so he can see like a lot of different things. Remember when he couldn't see the monster, and he had to kind of like open the eye and then kind of have that show him what he was looking at. I think with that ability in the third eye, I think he's able to be a lot stronger, and then of course see things in multiple dimensions.
Oh, so it's really just an additional add-on to his power then.
Right, yeah.
So again, so we're back to Doctor Strange at the same where we first started. He broke all these rules,
and you're back.
And we're back. He's like, okay, well, day is saved.
Oh yeah. And like the final character of this entire movie, of course, is the mid-credit scene when we get to see Cleo, right?
Yeah, apparently that's his future wife, right?
Right, yeah. So she does become, in the comics, his future wife, and she also is, I think, the niece of Dormammu. So she becomes she becomes both the Sorcerer Supreme and the ruler of the Dark Dimension. So, and supposedly, but I mean, it's so weird because she kind of popped up randomly, and I hope they just talk about like why she popped up randomly, and that'll probably be in Doctor Strange 3.
Well, she mentioned something like, "Oh, you caused an incursion. You have to fix
incursion." Yeah, and supposedly incursion means a big thing. I guess that was a lot. It was mentioned quite a bit in Secret Wars, and I think Secret Wars is going to be kind of the big event, where everybody does come together. Yeah.
Isn't Secret Wars like the invasion? Oh wait, no, that's Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion?
No, Secret Invasion. That's like when like the
Skrulls take over.
Skrulls take over. Yeah, like they infiltrate, the entire world.
Yeah. So this one is, I think, Secret Wars.
I don't know, or I'm curious to know like where it goes from there, right? Because who does he fight? Who has he left to fight?
I mean, everyone's saying that the big band is gonna be,
it's gonna be himself. I knew it.
No, it's not gonna be himself. They're also, I mean, essentially, there's a lot of opportunities for anyone to be the big bad. Like Ultron with the Infinity Stones, or it could, because he's locked up, right?
No more Ultron Infinity Stones, right? The thing is, like, we don't even know, like, if they're
he just got locked up. That's it. He's still alive.
But he doesn't have the Infinity Stones.
Oh, I mean, like, there's so many different, like, even what is that guy? He who should not be named. No,
Harry Potter.
No, who was Sylvia and Loki fighting? Not the High Evolutionary. What's his name? Kang the Conqueror, right? They're saying he's the next big bad.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Like maybe one of his variants.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, like, I think that's more of a Loki storyline than anything else.
He's also in Quantumania. He's gonna be.
Yeah, that's true too. Like Ant-Man and Quantumania with King the Conqueror.
Yeah, I wonder how all these stories are gonna fit together and where they end up.
Okay, this is what I think. I think Marvel, the MCU, is done with like all of like the big cameos that we're used to for Infinity War and Avengers.
Ooh, like Storm. Who are you talking about?
No, I'm saying like the MCU. I think it's completely done with like all of the big inclusions or cameos, all in one screen. I think they're gonna shift away, or I feel like there's gonna be a shift.
They're not gonna do like Infinity War type events.
Yeah, where it's like you have like 15 different heroes all in one scene or all in one movie. Yeah, because the thing is like there's not even a mention of a new Avengers yet. Right, we haven't even gotten to that point.
I mean, they have some
individual
young Avengers. We have a new Captain America.
Yeah, but that's all coming in much later down the line.
I mean, it could happen at the big scene when all 15 heroes come together.
What? No, I think they're done with that. I mean, I think they're gonna be doing maybe like where they're gonna have like different not timelines, but different storylines start intersecting with each other. So like a good example of this is like Doctor Strange's storyline intersected with Spider-Man's storyline, right?
Yeah.
Albeit kind of in a weird, like, hey, let me help you erase everyone's mind kind of way. But still, you know, they did have like this crossover where their paths just kind of intersected with each other, right? Not because of like some anymore? Big guy, but just because of like their actions, you know, just kind of, you know, work with each other. Right. So Doctor Strange,
you don't see that you're just gonna see like America Chavez like all over the place or other people. And
so I think
my phone just died. Okay, well you're just gonna see Jeremy from here on out.
Oh, fun. So I think America Chavez as a character is like really interesting, right? Because she crosses dimensions, and it seems like all of these Marvel storylines now revolve around alternate dimensions, right? We've seen it
multiverses,
in multiverses, right?
Yeah.
I think Spider-Man's is probably the jumping point.
Correct.
And then from there we're gonna see it in different forms. So obviously we have, you know, upcoming Shang-Chi, we have Captain Marvel,
Ms. Marvel, all these great things.
Miss Marvel,
Moon Knight.
I even think
Thor: Love and Thunder, blah blah blah.
I even think we're gonna see it in Thor: Love and Thunder.
What?
Like I think I think that's how we're gonna get a female Thor.
Well, I mean, we already talked about. Oh, so she's not gonna be just a variant.
I think she is a variant.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, from a different dimension.
I see. Okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense. I mean, that would be very plausible.
Yeah, I think all of these are just gonna be related to different dimensions, and you know, Kang the Conqueror, I could definitely see it being like the catalyst to combine everything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think he's just gonna be like one stepping stone for something larger in the end.
Kang, Mr. Kang.
Because the thing is like, right, we still have a lot of Marvel content that, you know, is coming out in 2023 and possibly 24, right? There's even titles that haven't been named yet in the timeline.
True. I mean, what really bums me out is that like these people are people and they exist, and their contracts could expire at any given time.
Yeah, so, and the thing is like, you know, if you consider the fact of like you have Fantastic Four and X-Men, right? Like technically, X-Men and the Fantastic Four don't exist in the MCU universe yet. Just
now, right?
Yeah. They don't exist in Earth 616 as far as we can tell, right?
Yeah. 818 they do. 818.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's no Black Bolt, there is no Professor Xavier, there is no X-Men that will be seen. So I wonder if like they're going to introduce them as variants from different dimensions to combine, and then combine them all into like one gigantic universe. Yeah,
possibly. I mean, that might make it think, because right now it's getting a little complex, especially with, you know, Loki and the timekeepers.
Yeah, and you know, there's even the question of like, how does the Avengers kind of fit into this whole scenario, right? Because there's really no need for an Avengers now.
Yeah, not necessarily. I mean, the threats and everything is so big. People are just so powerful and so strong.
Not only that, but the threats are so unseen.
Right. I mean, they're universal threats, right? They're bigger.
Yeah. Or interdimensional threats.
I mean, yeah, even with the Eternals, right? They created those kind of crossovers, and they talk about all these heroes like through, you know, third person. So
yeah. So I think, you know, with Doctor Strange, we're seeing kind of a glimpse into that. With America Chavez, you know, being an interdimensional being, and then the very last scene, or the end credit scene, right, with what's
Cleo,
right? Cleo making an appearance, cutting, you know, a hole into the dark universe.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's crazy. The jump. That's like, I think that's going to be like a jump point into the new MCU, or like interdimensional MCU. That's what I'm going to call it.
You heard it here first, people. You heard it here first. Jeremy with the Geek View predicted the future of the MCU.
I mean, it's not that hard to believe.
Sure, it's very predictable.
Not predictable. I think it's not that far fetched. I think.
So all in all, what do you give Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness?
I actually give this one. I give this one like a 7.5.
Nice.
Yeah.
I would give it an 8 because
because you cried. Yeah.
Yeah, because I cry. Anything that makes me cry is a solid 8 in my book.
8 or above.
8 or above. If you can make me cry, you're gonna get big scores.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say, we just see what other people thought, like let us know in the comments and what you felt. Like, what would you rate Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness? Did you see anything that we didn't see? Will my camera ever get fixed? Will I ever find my camera? Who knows?
Stay tuned. Find out in the next episode of the Geek View Review.
So make sure to like, subscribe, so you know if I can find my camera.
Yeah.
But just let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and then we will see you next MCU movie. I'm excited to watch Ms. Marvel.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's for the same reasons, though. I don't think it's for the same reasons.
Because you can just make big fists and use energy.
Because it's a teen movie.
Love the teen movies. YA for all.
The teen angst all the way.
Yeah. Never ending. Like Spider-Man. Anyway, we'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.